Good morning, evening, whatever it is where you are, and welcome back to Roll With It. We hope you guys enjoyed last session. Sorry it's been a little while, but we're back. We're excited to be with you again today. Make sure to like, follow, subscribe, whatever it is that you do where you're watching if you like what you see. Or even if you don't, we still appreciate it. Today is going to be a little bit different in that we'll have two separate things going on. First, we'll have a Q&A session where you guys will get to hear our thoughts on what's going on in the story, the stream, etc. And you get to interact with us directly. During this time, feel free to comment with your own questions in the chat. We'll try to go over whatever questions you guys have as well. Then we'll upload a video of what happened at the end of last stream. We were too eager to move on with the story to stop, so we kept on going and progressed a little further. So stay tuned after the Q&A to see our session for this week. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to add?
From me, I might have some siblings bursting in on this stream in a little bit. So if they do, I'll shush them, but it might happen. For a heads up.
Yeah, I think actually that probably goes for most of us. This is our first stream since they all split up. I'm living with roommates, so I'm down in our basement right now. No telling when somebody might come down. They all have siblings and things like that. So
love them to death.
Yep. Want to love them to death. Anybody else? Anything to add? All right.
We're going to try to be consistent as possible the next few weeks, but we have some big things coming up. One of our players is getting married. That's why she's not here today, because she's doing
Vila.
But so we're just going to try to make it as consistent as possible, but you all have to be flexible with us. But we'll keep you updated on what's going on. And after all that settles down, we'll definitely back to a more team. But we'll keep you updated on that.
Yes, absolutely. So sorry for the inconsistency thus far. It's been crazy. And it probably is going to be crazy. But, yeah. And so, without any further ado, if nobody else has anything left.
Quick question, Josh, which session number is this?
This would be...
I think we're on 14, but it's like 13.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think. Unless we're counting last like short version was 14.
Yeah, the one we're posting today is going to be 14, I think, technically.
Yeah, it would be, well, so like, but as it pertains to like the episodes, we haven't been going for that long. I think it was episode 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with 4, because that sounds right.
Sure.
Don't worry, everyone. We're still pretty close to the beginning of our campaign.
Yes. All right. So, without any further ado, let's start. The Q&A session will go like this. I'll start by asking kind of generic questions to the players that we discussed concerning the story, characterization, that sort of thing. After that, we'll move on to them asking each other questions. And finally, the players will ask me some. Anything goes for any of these categories except for spoilers. Anything that would spoil a story point, something in the plot, a bit of character development that they're holding off on, that, we're not doing that. So again, during any of this, feel free to ask away in the chat. Make sure that it's relevant to the segment that we're going through, though. Basically, don't ask DM questions while the players are answering and vice versa. Just make sure that it stays relevant. So, first section, asking you guys some general questions. In and out of character, and this isn't for anyone in particular, this is, you guys can just kind of go through however you want. In and out of character, who is your favorite character so far?
Stealing my questions, Josh.
I did steal your question.
Wow.
So in character, Vivian's favorite person is probably probably
no one.
Well, it's between Anakis and Vila, but it's probably more so Vila because she can sense a bit of like sarcasm edging her conversations with Anakis, but she does like them both.
Anaki's favorite character is obviously Kashaw. There's no question about that one. So that's
Who would have guessed?
I know, right? That lie. Everyone else is tolerable, but no, she only really likes Kashaw. Doesn't like herself either, but she likes Kashaw. Anyway.
Rock.
I'm not sure. I don't know. It was definitely Sreeling.
Before he passed on.
Yeah, before he met his doom. I don't know.
Wait. It was definitely Sri or Sreeling, like halfling Sri.
Well, both, if we're honest.
Mhm.
I would say probably now Kashaw. No. Actually, no. Goggles, definitely Goggles.
Oh, ooh.
But
For anyone unaware, Goggles is Vila, if that was not clear.
Because of her comments.
For it here, which is all of you. Sri was a character played by Liz, who now plays Vivian. Long before the stream started, he died session 3.
From a succubus. It was traumatizing.
It was traumatizing.
They still don't trust any NPC I throw at them now. So
What?
I said you guys still don't trust any NPC I throw at you.
Oh, actually, that's true. Yeah, we're traumatized, and it's actually come out.
Insight check.
I don't trust this little kid. Insight check.
I think you did insight check the kid.
Yeah, no, Anakis did, I think. No, I think both Vivian and Anakis did, but Vivian failed and Anakis actually won.
Well, anyway, Black, did you have more to say on that? It sounded like you were saying something else.
What'd you say?
Did you have more to say on that? It seemed like you might have had a little more to say.
Oh
Why
no,
Goggles?
I was gonna explain the whole Sreeling thing, so you did the
Oh,
pretty good job.
sorry about that.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Vivian, he has ups and downs with. Like, I felt there was a time where he and her were interesting.
Had a positive interaction.
Yeah, had one positive interaction, and then from then forward, it was meh. But
I'm sure there'll be more dispersed positive interactions.
Hopefully it's not just like downhill from here.
Yeah.
It could get kind of awkward. All right, so those were in character. Now, what about like you as a person? Who are your all's favorite characters?
Aside from our own,
Yeah, I mean, like it doesn't even have to be your own.
Well, like-
Oftentimes, like my favorite character is not my own.
Oh, but you're saying we could choose our own if we
Yeah,
wanted
you
to.
can choose your own.
Oh, that's boring though.
yeah,
I'll choose. Actually, you go, Isabel.
cool.
I'm thinking.
I am. I mean, personally, I do like Anarchy, especially because I know her and like I just really I'm tired
Exactly.
at this point. But besides my own character, I don't know. I think I like Vivian's character a lot. She's something. I'm trying to. It's fun to figure her out, see what she's coming from, and kind of where she's going with her character. So yeah.
Something is the best way I've heard Vivian described.
What? Yeah.
She's something.
She's not yet.
Honestly, for me, like I enjoy playing with everyone's characters because it's just fun to try to dabble with anyone in the group and stuff. And for different reasons, kind of thing. Right now, I think this last session at least, I think I'd had the most fun with Anakis. Yeah, because that's been just funny.
Like
Like
banter.
the interactions, yeah, it's just been fun.
I was gonna say no. I'll definitely go with Flit. Flit's my favorite.
But
Flit.
pretty awesome. He is Vila's mechanical dragon. For those of you who haven't caught that yet.
So I feel
But
like there's a trend of Goggles and just her whole persona.
But honestly, like Vila is also really fun, and arguing with you as Vivian Nathan is really fun. So like I don't know, it's interspersed because like even Kasha is pretty fun to interact with too. Because like
you're so
You'll-
awkward.
yeah, it's just funny. Your Kasha's interactions with Vila also
Yeah.
definitely top notch.
Kasha is just, he doesn't like not being liked, but he also doesn't really know how to be liked. So he's trying. He's trying.
Mhm.
And I also like Rock just making flowers, you're cutting flowers out of just anything. Like whatever he can find. He's like,
That's funny, yeah.
funny.
I do appreciate Rack's appreciation for children though, because I don't think there's anyone else that's like that interested in the sweet innocence of life. So that is a necessary aspect to our group that's like missing from every other character, I feel like.
The lumbering 8 foot tall, scary giant, and his love for children.
But he's a gentle giant.
He grows green beans,
who doesn't fight in a fight, instead goes to the innocent person and like pulls them out, so that's nice. Also
Yeah.
unhelpful.
Yeah.
It really is like very character like
Yeah.
accurate. And
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. I had never even picked up on that, but in times when there has been a situation like that, he's focused on pulling people out as opposed to getting involved in a fight, which is really neat. I like that.
Yeah, like the bears.
Yeah, the bears.
The bears. I still stand by Vivian's actions.
Like, no, animal friendship.
They were attacking us, so
Well, they were.
You were also in their territory, but
That was
Honestly-
hardly our fault.
I don't know if I'm really supposed to say this as the DM, but Rack is probably out of character my favorite character.
wow.
There's something about his like passivity that I like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like
No, it's
Relate
fun
to
exploring that.
It's not like he doesn't really have many ambitions. He's just cool to kind of do whatever's going on.
Yeah.
All right. Gotta pull up my document again. I wrote everything down so I wouldn't forget because I knew that I would not remember. Okay. So, in any character's life, there are typically refining moments and defining moments. A refining moment reinforces or makes a character deeper in the sense that it strengthens who he is, who he has already established himself to be. A defining moment is something new that would change part of the character or give him a new sense of definition. So have your characters before the stream, before even the game started, like you can go back to backstory or whatever. Have you guys noticed anything in your character that you would describe as a refining or a defining moment? Obviously, you don't have to go into backstory if that's gonna spoil anything or but just kind of something I was wondering.
I'm
defining.
go for it.
Go for it, Anarchis.
No.
Anarchis.
Okay. I think definitely a defining moment for her would have been when her mom threw her off the cliff into the river to get her away from her father.
That would probably define someone, yeah.
In her mind, it kind of was like, okay, he must be a terrible person if my mom is willing to like risk my dying in a river to get me away from him. So that kind of defined part of it. But I also think the fact that she came across Kusha and her mentor also kind of gave her another side of just interactions and stuff like that. So I think she's kind of like just kind of still confused as to knowing who to trust or whatever. So, but just, I don't know, like, I think further interactions with people might kind of push her in one way or the other, because she's got kind of a middle ground right now where she'd go either way, how she views humanity. What?
A crossroads.
Kind of, yeah, a crossroads. So, I don't know. We'll see. But then after the recent interaction with her father, she's even more confused because he didn't seem much of a terrible person. So now she's really just trying to figure out who is truthful and who just, Anyway, it'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Wait, how did Anarchist feel about the Death Shore priestess, Shadeseeker, saying that he was evil and the worst possible thing to come into contact with, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, that's what her mom seemed to believe. So, and she trusts her mom implicitly, basically. So she's kind of like, that makes sense. Yeah, sure, it's what I've always believed. But seeing him and seeing that he didn't seem that bad, also, they were like a little bit of doubt of like, maybe he's not that bad, but
Anarchist is gonna go evil in the end of this campaign.
We'll see. Maybe she gets pushed. Okay. We'll see.
Maybe that note on him that was like, yeah, I knew you'd kill that guy. I left him there for you to kill.
It's fine.
Super creepy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're gonna find a random robber that robs us someday. He's gonna have a note from your dad, and he's like, "I knew you'd find this man and kill him. Here's 20 gold, daughter. Here's your allowance."
It turns out just like every place we go has some kind of note. It's like, I'm gonna get her someday.
He just drops places off at anywhere he stops.
Exactly.
She might end up here. It'll give me points for being creepily omnipresent, kind of thing.
All right. Vivian, Rack.
Mine, I don't know. See, so I guess for everyone, also the viewers, I never actually sent my backstory and all my stuff to Josh, so Josh even doesn't know.
Nathan, there's a whole thing that you're supposed to do in the first place.
No, I literally typed it out, and I typed it out and he'll remember. I sent him where I was from and something else, and I typed out the rest of it, and I was gonna finish it, and then I left Messenger. I left the Messenger chat, and I came back like an hour later, and I was like, all right, I'll finish the text, and it was just gone. And I was like, well. That's
It's true. I've just been kind of like pulling things out of my butt to try and
I will send it. How about I'll send it today?
Someday.
All right.
Sure.
So there's not a lot that everyone knows about Rack as far as his defining why he is
super old.
Exactly.
And he
that's
likes
the thing.
animals.
Yeah, he's close to 300 years old, so he's basically had 3 or 4 lifetimes compared to, especially the younger kids. I think Goggles is the only one that's near. Josh, how old is Kusha?
80 something, I think she said. I think she said she's like 80 something.
No, Goggles is like 76, I think. But
Shaw is only like 20 something.
yeah,
Sorry, I thought you were saying that how.
Shaw is still a baby turtle.
Yeah.
Really?
He's like 25.
So he's basically had 3 or 4 lifetimes before this, and so there's been a lot that's defined, I guess, how he is now. As far as refining his character, it was definitely before the stream started with the curiosity with the sword and what could be possessing it, and also just the fact that Sri, who he had Sriling, who he had been with for a little time. Now her brother was coming, and so that was the whole main pull away from his, area. Because this is definitely the first time that he is ventured as far as he has without intending to come back immediately. So I would say it was definitely a defining moment, at least for now.
It was like like when Sam. This is the farthest away I've been from the Shire.
Yeah. One more step. Yeah.
Vivian?
Oh, yeah. For defining moment, definitely the defining moment for her had been like whatever had happened to kind of put her on the path of following Soroth. So what happened there was definitely a defining moment and made her, her whole goal in life being Soroth's will. So that was defining. Defining. What's it called? What was your definition for refining?
Refining is something that would strengthen who the character already is established to be.
Mm-hmm.
They've made themselves. A defining moment changes them and gives
Yeah.
them a new definition.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So for refining, then, yeah, the moment when everyone's questioning her fixation on death and everything about death or whatever, and the moment when she prays to Soroth about it, and he's like, "What are you talking about? Nothing's wrong with that. You're good."
Yeah.
That's like a yes. Okay, I'm on the right path. I'll continue this way. No change.
That happened.
That was just really funny and random, but that was a moment for her. So she thinks back to that anytime anyone's like, "Oh, you're so weird." She's like, "But Sora thinks I'm cool." So
Oh, good. But Soroth thinks I'm cool.
Yeah, no, that's for sure got to be a T-shirt now. We got to get that to Aaron.
Yeah, merch coming soon, guys.
Don't promise anything yet. Go.
For Kisha, a defining moment was when he left his temple with Anakis. I can't really say too much about it, given like just everything that surrounded that time, but he had kind of found an identity within the temple, and then he left with Anakis, and they started adventuring together. But that was probably his most, that and the other time he left home. Those have been his defining moments. Refining.
leaving home twice. What?
Well,
Like the woo.
that'll come up in game most likely. So we'll leave that where it is. But I don't.
Unless he dies because of this. What is this woman called? The cabana? The cabana?
Coming to you soon. You can't be on Cabana.
At the Copacabana.
Oh, man. No, the Cambion, yeah.
Cambion, I was super close.
You
Sure.
were like that close.
Wait, close one eye, close the other, kind of close.
It looks just the same.
Exactly.
Real hard.
But refining moments are difficult for me personally to pin down. I think one last defining moment was when he actually asked Vila for help with the whole his being totally uncharismatic.
Mm-hmm.
That was probably a defining moment for him. He doesn't really ask for help or even trust people for help, mostly. So, yeah, that was something. And this is a selfish question for me as the DM. What would you guys like to see more of in the game?
Is it just me or does Josh sound
Yeah,
warbly?
you kind
I
of.
was about to say, yeah.
Oh, and appreciate my use of the word warbly.
I love it.
What was your question though, Josh? We can answer it as you're trying to fix it.
Yeah, I said
Oh, that's better.
selfish question for the DM. Actually, we'll combine this kind of with another one. It'll make it less selfish of me. Right. The first part of it. What are you guys' theories on kind of what's going on right now? I know we haven't progressed very far.
Stole
but
one of my questions.
What?
He stole one of my questions.
I'm stealing everybody's question.
Once he's
like
finished,
me.
he will have asked all of the questions
All the
that we prepared.
questions, yep.
Be like me and not have you prepared, and then they can't.
There you
see
go. There you go. Best plan ever. The real person who is prepared for this is Annikis.
But yeah, so the first part of it would kind of be, what do you guys think is going on? Which I know we haven't gotten very far within any particular story yet, but just some seeds have already been planted, and I mean, yeah, like anyway, it doesn't matter. No spoilers, right? And then, as the second part of that question, where do you guys want to see it go? What would you like to see more of? That sort of thing.
I think, okay, well, for now, the different things that we've experienced. One of them being something Vivian does not know about. Well, so there was that tree at the beginning that we skipped over
Right.
and everything. So something about a tree is going on somewhere in the world right now. And whatever is happening with that is happening. But I don't even remember what that was about. What was it about? It was like this tree. It's
a tree that's not. No one
was
actually knows if
twisting
it's real
magically.
or not. But it's.
I thought the druid said that there was a tree that was like being affected
Well, yeah,
somehow.
he said there was, but it's a mythical tree.
The Gulthius tree.
Yeah. I'm sure Josh can be better explain this, but
Basically, the what you guys know about the tree is that there is something called Melbourne called it the Gulthius tree. He says that it needs cleansed. He says that there's essentially a world-shattering event that is tied to it, and if it's uncleansed, then a lot of bad things could happen.
Yeah, so that's going on somewhere in the world.
So that
Totally skip that.
it's
Yeah.
it's a mythical thing, like Nate just said. You don't actually even know if he's just crazy or anything. So far as you guys know, it's just a legend.
Okay, that gives us a little bit more credibility for like skipping that
Right.
thing. Like he was probably just crazy. We'll move on.
Right.
But yeah, so the tree thing was going on. We ran into some people serving the dark death god, Hrothgar, whatever. And they were, resurrecting an entire town. A cult of some sort. We ran into, let's see, what else? The whole thing with Stone, and then the visions of the artifact and the bad outcome of the world, and Annikis' visions and Vivian's visions. Vivian's visions. What?
I said lots of visions, guys. Lots of visions.
Oh yes, all the visions. Such fun. But what's it called? I don't know. I'm assuming some apocalyptic thing is coming about, and I think maybe the devil's involved just because he is also around right now as we're trying to do that. Oh, Mephisto, yeah.
My father.
Mephisto. Mephistopheles.
Archdevil of the eighth hell.
Mephistopheles.
Yep.
Mephistopheles. Okay. Mephistopheles. Gotcha. What a mouthful.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
Go ahead. No, that was it.
Finish your thing.
Oh
Okay.
no, that was it.
I think that there is a war coming to the world, like a very big war. That we're trying. That's what the visions have related to. Granted, the visions may not maybe past visions, but I think that maybe there's a war coming, and we're trying to. That's why I can never remember his name. He's trying to get us to find the object, so that way we can try to, not stop the world.
Seldak.
What?
Seldak.
Seldak. That's right. I always forget his name.
I have it written down somewhere.
I always forget his name too, but I decided to remember it today. Apparently.
Good for you.
Nice.
But yeah, I think there's a really big war coming, and honestly, I think my father's got something to do with it. Like, you think he's pushing it? With the amount of devils and stuff we've seen on this plane, I think he's starting to I don't know. I think he's trying to stir up trouble, and for some goal, not quite sure what that is, but I think
So he's been trying to summon a chain devil. Also, not necessarily related to the Cabana, the Cabal, the Cambion. Thank you. There's just nothing related to the word Cambion in my mind for it to stick in my mind. So apparently not necessarily related to what she's been doing, since she was like, "Oh, the daughter, your dad's not really involved with me, but that's cool."
That's what she thinks.
True. That is true. Mm-hmm. Nathan?
I don't know. I was gonna say basically what Isabel says. Like, I think it's all coming to a central thing. Like, we've done 2 or 3 little mini missions that I feel like all kind of are gonna collide at some point into one big thing. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we had the one demon wanting, chaos and just destruction, and he's trying to find his way into our plane. Then you have
that was with Sri, right?
Yeah.
So then you have obviously Isabel's father and him bringing random creeps across
Not my
borders.
father.
And you have him just bringing random who knows it's across. And then, yeah, I agree with the final war kind of thing.
Do we think it's a war with humans or a war with inhumans or non-human races?
I mean, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be different planes, if that's the assumption, or if the assumption is true.
I mean, I don't know, but I would guess planes. Probably the devil plane. Anikis, you're gonna have to choose a side. Pick a side. Pick a side.
So where do you guys?
Little do we know, we're actually just giving Josh his writing material for the future. He's like, "Oh, write this down. War, got it."
Oh yeah.
Last thing you said, something about planes or-
That was good. That was like a nice plot twist.
Anarchy's picks side.
Your next dream, your next vision, Anikis, is your dad asking you to pick a side.
Coming to the other.
All right, so kind of having discussed where you guys think it might end up going, where do you guys want to see it go? What would you guys like to see more of within the game, that sort of thing? Not just necessarily on a grand scale, but even more specifics.
I mean, honestly, my experience with, D&D and campaigns and stuff is limited enough that I'm kind of like open to anything, because anything will be a new and interesting experience for me playing this game. I like the idea of getting more involved in like world politics and stuff like that, just because I've always enjoyed that in books and movies and whatever I will be interested in. But I don't know. Rack.
For me, I
Issa
think
Rebel?
not Rack necessarily, because I doubt he would be as enthralled in this. But I personally want to know more about the world, or like what else is there out there, because we've been in one little section on the bottom left hand corner of the world for
That's so true.
how many, I mean, it's only been what, like a
A
month
couple
now,
weeks, yeah.
Yeah.
but still
It's been probably about 2 months now, because the time you traveled through the Frostfell and then back over to the Obsidian Spires.
We've been together for 2 months, guys.
you haven't.
Oh yeah. Okay, Rack. Sri was only with you guys for like a week before he died.
True. Not even.
It's mainly been Vivian at this point.
Yeah, which
Fair enough.
it kind of sucks. I'm so sorry that you had to just kind of like sit there that session.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine. It was honestly an experience. Hmm. It was still fun in its own way.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
Oh no, I like maybe more. I mean, that's obviously up to us, not necessarily you. But seeing what else is out in the world.
Just
and-
ask, so what neighboring countries are there around Northia? Northia.
But as far as like,
No, yeah.
Yeah, you are in Northria right now.
Doubtless.
Northria is very devil infested, as a side note.
At least in the Obsidian Spires, because that's basically
That kind of makes sense, I guess. Yeah.
Or you can encounter devils or demons.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, I just realized that I would have had
Huh?
with my nasally, gravelly voice, I would have had a perfect Rack voice today. I wouldn't have even been able to try.
Yeah.
Bad beans.
I personally, I love the intrigue side of things. So
Yeah.
I seeing a little more intrigue, a little more, getting the word I'm looking for. But having to puzzle things out. I love that. So I think it's never good at it, but I think it's cool.
Which is funny, because I think I remember hearing some complaints about you getting different information from different people.
Oh yeah, I was about to say.
She wants the truth. She's trying to figure out the truth. It's obsessed.
I did. It was super frustrating, uber frustrating that we were getting different information, but it was also really fun because it's realistic.
It was super frustrating though. I was like, what do you mean?
I hate humanity.
I hate humans. I hate cities. Oh, what was it? It was I hate people, I hate towns. That's what it was. That one person tuned in for like 5 seconds and were like, relatable. That
Yeah.
was awesome. That was awesome. Okay, yeah. That was my selfish question.
Nice.
I think I've only got 1 or 2 more. Yeah. We'll just do the last one, because number 5 is kind of dumb. Anyway, so from the 3 pillars of D&D, being like combat, exploration, and personal interactions, to like preferred rewards, whether it be gold or magic items or just general experience and renown throughout the land. What would you say is kind of your personal play style, and how has that affected your character and how you've kind of engineered them to be?
What?
So, just what is your personal play style that, like, generally from combat, exploration, and interactions to like what rewards you prefer, whether it be gold, magic items, renown, fame, that sort of thing. What is your play style, and how did that affect how you created your character, or did it affect how you created your character, and what you want them to be like?
I guess personal play style was just something me personally am interested. I can't speak. Interested in is interactions with like NPCs and characters. So like and players. So like I geared Vivian to have interesting interactions. That was like mainly like when I was thinking of her. I was trying to think of what would be kind of fun to play, different from myself, but also like something I could come up with or whatever.
Sure.
Make interesting interactions with people, weird moments, all the above.
All the weird moments.
Mhm.
Yep.
Go for it, Rack.
I'm not sure. My personal, I really like, obviously the people I've played in the past. I've only D&D. I've only done 3, I think, and then obviously our little tabletop with Brett. But for a majority of those, I've done characters that aren't necessarily the most talkative or the center of attention or anything like that. So I
That
do
is a
definitely
running
like.
theme.
I like probably the. What is it? I guess it would be, if you're talking about the 3 themes, it would be in the interactions section. But I love describing and I love description. So what the character is doing or what is happening about, or so maybe exploration as well. But that's definitely my play style. Rather than necessarily speaking, it is more the unspoken description kind of.
That is the one disappointment that I have with Vivian is that, so next time I'll make a character more geared toward exploration, but like her personality is just not the type to be that interested in what's going on around her, like just not that much. Like she's very tunnel vision. So I'll be like, oh, I want to go through those doors, but Vivian's not gonna do anything that's off her set track. So it's frustrating, but it's fine.
I personally like probably one of my favorite aspects about like D&D is just like the fact that it's not based in reality necessarily, whereas like you have the magic side of it and like the side that's just like you can do, you can go fight somebody, go to 0 hit points, sleep, and you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like I love that. So like I like just making my character the person who just can like do things as I can't do. So that's kind of why I made my character someone who's just very much, I don't know, like I guess like that's why I did like more of a magic based character, and also because like the character kind of searching for intelligence because I want to kind of know like just like she just likes knowing stuff. That way I can like know more about the world that to me is like a dream world kind of a thing. I don't know. I just think it's really cool. So
Sure.
Nice.
For me personally, I'm a very interactions-based person, as you probably tell by my DM style. A lot of other things don't really occur to me because in my own legitimate Josh Callahan brain, everything is people. Like it all comes down to my interactions with other people. So it's sometimes hard for me to think outside of that, which is why I created Kasha, who basically I'm using him as a way to try and push myself in my role play and other things like that, to be able to branch out a little bit past my own just Joshness. So I think that's all I have. Nobody has said anything in the chat so far, so you guys go ahead. Again, just a reminder as we move into the next section, asking each other questions. Again, feel free, ask them anything you like. No spoilers. So they have the full authority to veto questions, but we'll try and get to them. Give you guys a chance to interact with us directly. So you guys have at it. I'm gonna sip on my tea.
Although, if you want to dance around a question rather than straight vetoing it, that could work too.
Oh yeah.
Isabel will be perfect at that.
I obfuscate. I dance. That's what I do.
Okay, question that just came up because of something Josh said was because did you say that Kasha was her mentor or? But this is for Isabel though. So what is Kasha to her? More so for the viewers because I think we've kind of seen what that is so far personally.
And
but
Along
what
with
is
that,
Kasha to Anakis? Because you said that he's the most important, but what does that mean to her?
along with that, could you, because this is one of my questions, so I'll just tag along. Could you explain more of how they came to be together? So,
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think. Okay, not like that. I'm trying to think of how to say this. Like, giving too much away. You guys know a lot of it, so I think it's fine. But basically, he's not her mentor. He has been a friend for like just years. She met him while she had her own mentor, and while he was still at the temple. And they just they just became really good friends. And she kind of turned to him for kind of just guidance, I guess, and trying to figure out her life post leaving the colony of her father. So she kind of just used him as kind of like a guidance, a comfort, someone that kind of she just could trust who would help her. And so after her mentor died, she decided to she had nothing there. So she decided to go travel and kind of figure out where she's supposed to go in life. And Kasha, at this point, it's such a deep friendship that he kind of just, he was like, well, I'll go with you. He I think felt the need to kind of protect her, be with her, so, was that your, what was your question, Nathan?
that's pretty much.
Okay. Yeah. So basically they've just been lifelong, really like 20 years long best friends and kind of just trying to figure life out together. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Not romantically.
Not romantically.
Yet.
Anyway.
I have more, but do you want to go Isabel?
Well, I don't want to ask too much about that because you haven't really talked about it too much, I don't think. But
I mean, you could go ask anything and I'll like dance around or refuse to answer.
Okay. I'm pretty sure one of the sessions Lady Vivian mentioned a death of some sort, like her own death. And I'm kind of curious about that. If, I don't know if I think she kind of danced around it then as well, but she was saying something about her own death and deaths that affected her. So kind of what pushed her to be on this death god path? Well, I guess grave god path that she's on.
Well, I guess the initial thing that pushed her would be that she grew up around Soroth-ish, without like explaining too much, but in essence, grew up near to him, whether shrine be or metaphorically, kind of thing. And then the deaths, she was being honest, yes. And then she was also kind of like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say that. Kind of the initial honesty, and then, oh wait, like they've already shown issues with like my deafness in general, so kind of pull back a little bit. Jellyfish.
Okay.
Sorry, I was thinking of the.
Right, I got you.
Mhm.
Yeah, go away.
For Rack, how does okay. Why is your name Rack? You mentioned before that you got the name, and I don't like this is more for viewers, so how were you named Rack? Because you said you didn't like that wasn't your name initially, and you were given that name.
Well, originally, Streeling, the little halfling that I met, however long ago that was, I'm not sure, years, I think, a few years back, was someone a little girl that I found and helped out for a few weeks. I'm not sure. But she originally met me because I was just strolling around in the woods as a raccoon. And I kind of like found her in the middle of the woods, lost and not really knowing what she was doing. And then I believe, I can't remember exactly. I'll have to bounce off you, Liz, but wasn't she captured or taken away?
Just strolling along. Oh, look, this little girl.
Casually as a raccoon.
As one does.
Casually.
Wasn't she taken by the trader?
I don't know, Rack. This is your backstory. Was she?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was, right? She was taken by the traders, and then they were just camping out, and so he rescued her, and then she called him Rack, and
Because he was a raccoon.
Yeah, that's basically it.
She was going between coon and rack and went with Rack in the end,
Coon.
for which we're all grateful.
Which actually brings up another thing. Firbolgs typically don't have names.
Mm-hmm.
So he just kind of went right with whatever Sreeling told you.
I've been called other things by other people in the past.
Some not so nice names.
And you went by those names for a little bit and then realized that people were giving you weird looks about it, so.
Well, I go along with the name, or Rack goes along with the name as far as the people that are associated with calling him that name.
Right.
So if like in the town, when people called him a certain name and he went with that name until he left that town and then, didn't go by that name. As far as since Sri came along looking for Rack and was like searching for specifically Rack.
Walked into the forest and shouted.
That is and that name was associated with his younger sister. That is why he goes.
She's older than he is, actually.
They look the same to me.
Age is irrelevant.
Age is a construct.
She was smaller, so therefore she was younger.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so the same thing actually happened with Kasha and Anakis. Kasha is also a Firbolg. He has no name. Anakis started calling him Kasha.
I forget what it means.
I also forgot what it means.
It meant something.
We have it written down somewhere, I think.
What?
But we have it written down somewhere, I think.
I think so. I'll look it up.
Yeah.
Question for Josh. Is Kasha a name that's like a name Firbolgs normally have, or is it more of a name that
It's in
devils? It's infernal. Okay, that's what
It's not a name. It's just it was a noun.
Yeah.
It's not
Oh.
it's a common noun that he was like, yeah, and
Was it-
decided to start calling me.
I don't remember what it was. But it was something.
Maybe it's light in infernal. That would make sense.
Or
Could be,
like
It's
tabletop.
like-
because it's related to it would be related to Harom. No, it wouldn't. It would be related to Farash somehow.
It might have been
Oh,
like
man.
friend or something. I can't remember.
I think it might have been friend.
It might have been.
Oh, that's so
We'll
cute.
look it up.
It wouldn't have
I'm
been.
imagining
what?
tiny
Friend.
horned Anakis.
That's
You're like,
really-
I'll call you friend because she has no imagination.
You're not wrong.
I mean, in Infernal,
Tomodachi-san.
the word friend wouldn't actually exist, so it would have been something probably more like ally.
Yeah, even better.
But yeah.
Friend zone to the hardest. Not even a friend, just
Every
an
day
ally.
he's reminded. That's why he's been so bitter these past few days. Okay. So, question to Anakis. Is Anakis okay? So she seemed very defensive with the mayor's kind of misogynistic what's it called way of being, whatever that word is. Is that because she's experienced like men treating her badly in the past, or is it just like something else? Why was she I guess super affected by it?
I think it was a couple of things. First off, that interaction took place at like I think it was like 4 a.m. And I think he's not a morning person, so she's already grumpy just having to be up at that point. Like she would rather have stayed up than she would not want to get up at that point. She was kind of grumpy at that. And then he was being rather obstinate because it seemed like we had come in to help. In her mind, we had come in to help them. We were risking our lives to save them, and he didn't want to get out of his bed to come, like, identify some people and see if, like, the help we needed. So she was like, "This is your town. You should be, doing everything you can to help your own people, not just leaving it to some strangers, like us." And then also, yeah, I mean, she did kind of grow up. I think some of it based off the way she looked, just because tieflings don't often receive the most favorable reception in a lot of places, but also just I think because she is a kind of dominant, aggressive personality. She has clashed with a lot of guys in her past, and so she kind of saw it coming from him. What?
I was just wondering what guys she had aside from Kasha and her mentor. Really?
No, just traveling interactions.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. No, like just shopkeepers, people. Just she kind of clashes with them because she's aggressive and she's very much, she's not very sweet, which is part of her own fault. She's just not that way. So she was like, he's gonna give me trouble, I'll give it right back to him. She has no problem with that. So it's probably, as much her fault as it is his, but that's just how she saw it. And she wasn't gonna back down just because he was the mayor and he had a hoity-toity, whatever. Anyway, yeah. But
Gotcha.
But no, she has not had a lot of close interactions with people who have because she hasn't had a lot of close friendships besides Kasha and the group ish now.
Group ish.
Blocking her.
His wedding?
Rack, for you, something I'm personally curious about would be so since his previous, positive or friend or whatever, Sreeling, is the older sister / younger sister of Sri that traveled with them for a little while and died like a week into traveling with them. Does Rack feel guilty about that at all? And does he ever intend to seek out Sreeling and either apologize or mention her brother is dead?
The intention is still there, but he doesn't really feel bad. I mean, he died. He was going to die eventually. I mean, if not now, then it would have been, 20 years from now, whenever he died. It happened. Oh, well. He's still curious vaguely about everything the mystery surrounding Sri and especially the sword. But he doesn't have as a Firbolg, he doesn't necessarily have a extreme, reaction to someone dying. I mean, it's a fact of life. It happens.
Which is an extreme contrast to Kasha's interactions with Anakis and her being in danger. So, Kasha, does that mean that for him, he grew up kind of apart from normal Firbolg society? If Nathan's saying that Firbolgs generally think that way.
Well, okay, Firbolgs, as far as Rack is experienced, he's only been in one culture of,
Right. And on the whole, Firbolgs are more concerned with like keeping the forest safe than anybody dying.
Mhm.
People, humans, whatever, people outside of their little tribe can do whatever they want, live and die how they please, but don't intrude on them and don't intrude on the forest. But yes, Kashaw was actually, for a good portion of his life, raised outside. We'll just leave it at that. Outside of regular Firbolg society.
Mm-hmm. Oh, another question for Anakis would be if she grew up with Kashaw, alongside Kashaw, why doesn't she worship Othar along with him?
That's the question.
Or anyone, for that matter.
I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that because of her close devil ancestry, she kind of feels like what a lot of people ascribe as like, you know, hell, the end place for a lot of religions. Not all religions, but you know, kind of just like a lot of people think of just like hell as being the punishment place. And she's kind of like, well, you know, she knows her father rules one of the realms, and she's kind of just like, it's kind of just like it's normal to her. She doesn't seem like she doesn't think that any one particular god has control over where people go or anything like that. She kind of just is like, if anything is as close to a powerful figure in her mind, it would be her father. But like, she doesn't like think he's a god. She just thinks he has a lot of power. So in her mind, everything's just people fighting for power and just doing what they can to, you know, get people to revere them and respect them and have power. So she kind of, her mind, I think a lot of gods in her mind are kind of just like, they are people who just
Cult leaders.
well, like they do what they can to like get their own name revered and to get people to see them as powerful. So she's kind of like, they're all the same, you know. She's not like, I mean, she probably does have she has more favorable leanings towards Othar because of her relation with Kashaw, but not enough that she feels like he's, you know, a savior she's been looking for or something like that. So I don't think she
like there's no sparkly magicalness to what they are, because they're
she's
just
on
being
the flip side. She's not, you know, nothing on the top side has seemed to really been like, oh yeah, this is, you know. So yeah.
That's
Such
interesting.
an infernal way to see the world. Like everything is power, and those who
Yeah.
try to grab at it.
Uh-huh.
It's
I
such
like
an
it.
interesting way of looking at things. It's cool.
That makes a lot of sense for Anakis as a character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lady Vivian, question. I actually been curious about this. Why are you called a lady? I am very curious about this.
Oh, she is a lady. She considers herself to be of station.
Is it like from birth, or just she is kind of that's who she made herself to be? Unless it's false, obviously. But I'm just curious as to where.
Oh, no, it's fine. I'd say yeah, from birth, thin essence, with a weird murky feel to it.
Okay.
Whatever that would mean.
And Rack, do you care to explain why you've been so grumpy these past few days? You know, Rack's been a little bit dour lately, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. But
Have I?
While we've been in the infernal area, you've been very. Or he's just grumpy.
There might have been a reason to that. I don't think have I been grumpy?
I thought you were. I
thought you were.
We talked about it. You were like,
Mila thought you were too.
Yeah.
Oh wait, why did I say I was grumpy? I don't know.
Your explanation to us then had been being away from your like soul feeding nature.
Oh no,
To
yeah, okay, no, I do remember now. Yeah, it's just not necessarily grumpy.
We know more
just-
about Rack than you do.
Okay,
Apparently.
it's been like 3 weeks. I couldn't remember my specific attitude on a scale of 10. You know, throughout. No, it's just the fact that we're in a area that's very just dead, and just nothing is there, and just Yeah, there's nothing living, like nothing's living there, and so it's just
Mhm.
kind of depressing. I can't feel things. I can't feel things around me. I don't get
So-
the same the vibes.
To connect from that question, then, why is why is Rack still traveling with the group?
That's a good question. Does Rack even know? I feel like at this point it's just the fact that Rack had because he has wanted to explore that was part of his thing. He explored all the towns surrounding, and he would always visit, and he would kind of try to stay undercover. And now that he's actually been with a troop that's their purpose, quote unquote, is just to go out and travel, and he's kind of gotten some of that curiosity quenched. He's got more of a taste for it, so to say. So that's what I can say.
Hmm.
Yeah. For how long his thirst will continue is to be announced.
A question for Josh would be, as DM, who is your? Oh,
The next segment is the DM segment.
oh, okay. So still just like between ourselves.
I have a question for everyone. What's their character's favorite ice cream?
Favorite ice cream?
Ice cream.
If ice cream existed, which I don't know if it does.
I don't know if that exists or not.
It would be
I
very
mean, if
hard
coffee
with the
exists.
technology that they have to keep it cold.
Ah,
It would be.
what about magical technology?
I'm gonna say some low-level magical enchantments could do that, like the bag of colding.
So like Keystone probably has ice cream somewhere.
Keystone, like Cold Stone.
So what was everybody's answers?
Oh, we were deciding if that was
Figure out if
clean
ice
or
cream
not.
exists. I'm
Ice
sure
cream
that
is definitely a
there
thing.
are ice cream-like things.
There definitely is. There are animals, and there's flavoring. Therefore, ice cream.
Vivian probably will eat any flavor.
She likes vanilla because she's bored.
Yeah, there's that too. No, I think she wouldn't really care what she was eating ice cream wise. She would just like the fact that it was cold. Something that freezes her mouth.
I think Anakisi would be, well, I'm not sure about flavor, but she would definitely hate ice cream because
Yeah, I was about to say.
so if she were going to eat ice cream, she would be that psychopath who like warms it up in the microwave and like serves it up.
You just call your dad a psychopath?
Yes, my dad actually does do that. He
Your
like
actual dad is a
my
psychopath.
actual dad likes warming his ice cream up and like it's like a soup, and I'm like, ugh. But if she were to eat ice cream, that's probably how she would eat it because she can't have it be cold. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
If so, for Vivian, the only thing that she probably would angle more towards would probably be like chocolate.
Kashaw?
I don't think Kashaw would like it.
Really?
Just for
He would like,
like no, I don't like the way that feels. That's not
It's probably more a Vila question. She'd probably have
Oh yeah, Vila would have
like top
3
5
lines
flavors.
out there.
Mhm. Oh, you guys never asked. I actually carry this curtain full of.
In my
Ice-
bag of
She
holding.
she'd be like, if you go to this town, this is the best ice cream shop. If you go to this town, I mean, that's pretty good ice cream. What about
You know
Rack?
who has the best ice cream? The dwarves.
Yeah.
Rack,
Oh.
what's yours?
Oh,
Yeah.
Rack would definitely be like a pistachio.
I can see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Stash.
A question for everyone. What are like 3 things that make their character happy?
3? You need
Mhm.
3?
Like the 3 things, like not necessarily people or like specific kind of things that happen, but like objects or, you know, external things that in nature or like, I don't know, that they own that makes them happy.
Kasha is for sure sunlight shining through trees.
Oh.
He loves that. Just like the almost magical glow of yellows and greens that kind of like play around in the mingle with the shadows. It's very, very pretty to him. He likes that. Poetry. Kasha,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
as briefly discussed, is
Oh, and
And-
who found that out about Kasha?
Vila, but I think we were close
But
enough
she
to
was-
listen.
But
Yes.
she didn't realize that you were lying, so she doesn't know that you write it. That's what it was.
right.
She thinks you just read it
That I
Yeah.
just read it.
because you lied and she didn't make it. I love it.
And being a protector, he likes protecting, and it makes him feel a sense of like, not duty, but
Purpose?
Purpose. Thank you. A sense of purpose, and it makes him very happy that he can do things like that.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Rack.
Come back to me. Oh, I have to think.
I was gonna say Kasha, but since I wasn't on that list, apparently, you know.
Anakis was definitely under being a protector.
No, I'm just okay.
His poetry comes before you.
Wait, how do you know that she's not in the poetry?
We need to convince Kasha to read one of his poems.
I need to write some poems for Kasha.
We're just gonna put you on the spot. You're like,
Roses and violets are
drops the book into
Rose
a pile
is
of.
red. Anakis is purple.
I wanted to go to the store to buy a gerbil.
Gerbil pops out of his pack this entire time.
The entire time I just had a gerbil with me.
Yeah, it's really funny.
That's off the table.
Oh man. Okay. I mean, she's absolutely in love with the night sky. Like that's, you know, she wears it on her clothes. Like for goodness sakes, like she's in love with it. That's kind of something that just going out and staring at it just makes her happy. It's kind of like there's a constantness to this that like no matter where she is, it's constant, and that gives her a sense of stability that she really needs. And she also just trying to think of just 3 because there's like 4 of them. I'll give all 4. Who cares? Anything really warm. So like that's why she likes coffee. Like anything that's just really warm because it just kind of makes her feel good. You know, like it's the world's too cold.
Isabel with purple skin.
What?
I said it's just Isabel with purple skin.
You're not wrong. But yeah, so coffee. I bet if they ever stumbled across like, you know, a natural hot spring, she would absolutely just love it, like not want to leave. But anything warm.
End of campaign.
And then she's like, I'm just staying here.
Roll a new character.
She also just loves, like, she gets all giddy excited when she gets like a fresh book or something like new knowledge. She just kind of just like let me sit here and read this. But of course, she can't
Frenzied.
show that.
Give that to me. Give it to me. Let me read it right now.
Exactly. She's kind of like, yes, I will go look over this. And just, by the way, and then Kashaw is one of the few things that actually does, like, you know, she can't tell him that, but he does make her happy, and you know, and does give her just a sense of joy in life. But yeah,
Mhm.
he can't know that. He get too big of a head about it. So anyway.
For Vivian, it would be one just simple thing that generally makes her happy. Like she's never ecstatic about anything. She's kind of a mellow person. But being outside, she enjoys the feeling of being in the open air and outside. Specifically on cloudy days. She likes it when it's overcast. And then what's it called? For she likes finery. Finery does make her feel happy as far as she can be and everything, and she appreciates good food, good kind of lodging, stuff like that. She won't complain necessarily about the opposite, but that's what she prefers, and it makes her happy.
So that's
and
why
besides
when
that-
Rack gets her clothes all dirty, she gets really mad at him. You know?
Yeah. She's
All
like,
that happened, didn't it?
yeah, but she doesn't really hesitate about getting her hands dirty. Like
No,
she'll
it's-
go into a body and like rip it open and stuff, but she does not feel happy covered in gunk and whatnot.
I need
It's
some,
definitely not her favorite place.
yeah.
And then also, like obviously probably the top of that list was, you know, pleasing Soroth or whatnot, but definitely something is when she can make a connection, because she does know that she doesn't make connections with humans well at all, kind of thing. But when she does make a good like somehow some sort of connection in regards to Soroth and like helping people understand his whole thing or whatever, makes her very happy. So the whole thing with Sasha kind of working out, she was like, "Oh, I don't know what to do with this. Kind of thing. Don't break it." Almost.
Yeah.
Rack.
Well, I'd say first off, watching children grow into their, you know, adult selves.
But if they die, I guess they just die. It doesn't really matter.
Well, I mean, he protects the innocent and the young, but yeah, they die. Oh well. They are one with nature now. Yeah, so just grow. So I guess definitely he loves children, but he does enjoy watching them, you know, grow and develop and become who they will be for the future. You know, he enjoys maple trees after it's been hot for a few days because they give off a certain smell that he is like.
What's hot for a few days?
Just the sun's been beating down.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I guess like I said earlier, protecting the innocent or the young, different things like that. That's definitely his forte.
Oh, something I'm personally curious about that came up and I did not write down was, what is everyone's, like, not necessarily what their alignment is, but like what is their consideration for like right and wrong? Their moral code, I suppose.
Neutral, pretty much.
True neutral.
Yes.
We have to like describe it. Because I mean, true neutral would definitely not be protecting children.
That is true. No, I'm trying to. It's chaotic, lawful, right? Those are the two, and then good and evil, right?
Well,
Huh?
what?
I'm trying to. I'm trying to think of the line.
No. I don't tell me your alignment. Don't tell me your alignment. Just describe like how would you describe your moral code? Rack's moral code.
Oh, moral code. Very much anything. Most things don't matter. As far as your like personal decisions, as long as they don't affect other people. Like, you can do whatever you want. Rack doesn't really care. Unless you are, yes, like if it has to do with children, or if it has to do with anyone who's not necessarily a child, but can't control. Like if someone's controlling someone, they're charming them, or, hurting, whatever, someone who's not done anything to deserve it, then there's a time to step in. But any other time, it's like you do what you will, kind of thing.
Rock is a libertarian.
What'd you say? Right?
I said Rock is a libertarian.
Yeah. You can defend yourself. There's no need for me to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes as far as good and evil. Evil, I mean, he doesn't really, like, in his mind, things he does don't really equate as evil or good. They're just, actions, I guess. Like, the only time it ever borders on an evil action, as long as it has a purpose, is if it's against another innocent person. So,
What qualifies as innocent in Rack's mind?
a undeserving or child, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So someone who like is undeserving of being punished. I don't know. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but
Kashaw?
So, like, chaotic evil?
Gotcha! I knew it this entire time!
Oh, the entire time, I'm just building you guys up to get totally wrecked.
Murders the
You think he's
total.
a light cleric? He's a homebrewed hellfire cleric.
That would be so hurtful, Rennick. Oh.
No,
This entire time.
and not Rock. Yeah, I've just been so focused on him for so long.
The whole time he hated Sri purely because Sri was taking his thunder.
Yeah, right. No, Kasha is he's got a really strict, like, internalized moral code, and basically he's like the zealot that will follow his god's plan to the death. And wipe anybody out that tries to stand in the way of that. Not he's not going to go on a rampage, but if there's something corrupt in the world, he wants to rid the world of it. That's mostly it. There's not much room for any kind of situational stuff. He's got what he thinks, and that's going to be it, unless Othor himself just comes down, descends upon him, and says, like, "No, it's okay." He
So
sees
very
a
black
big
and white.
sheet with all kinds of unclean animals. Go eat. No. No, that's very strict and very, very, like, lawful good type. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
I don't know. I think on the outside, Anakis is very much like very neutral appearing, where she doesn't really care. Like people can do whatever they want. Kind of don't bother me, I won't bother you kind of a thing. But I think on the inside, she's more of, I think she's scared to be the evil nature that is in her, like her what she thinks of her father and everything like that. So she's kind of scared that's in her somewhere. So she's desperately trying to not be like that. So she really, and since she had the good influence of Kashaw, she definitely is more like, there is a sense of like, she hates seeing people who she thinks like, like innocents being oppressed or like unfairly treated people. She will definitely like take a stand, even though she'll probably play it off later as, oh, that guy just gave me a dirty look, I didn't like it. But she, on the inside, she definitely wants to do kind of what she thinks is good. And she's just kind of trying to figure out what that really means. Hence why she kind of leans on a lot of Kashaw's guidance for that.
Mhm. So she does see things as good versus evil, or like
She kind
good and bad.
She does a lot of it. She does do is like, she doesn't know her father very well, but what she would think of as her father, she thinks would be evil. So things like, she kind of bases it off of that a little bit, where it's like, okay, deceiving someone is probably evil. I mean, there's uses for it, so she's not gonna. That's the thing. She's kind of outside her own moral code sometimes, which is, not sure this is about her, but
I mean, a lot of people are.
but mainly she doesn't like seeing innocent people taken advantage of, and she doesn't like. She wants people to be free to make their own happiness. So yeah, I don't know. She's still figuring it out as she goes along. But
Mhm. I'm so sad that Vila's not here,
I know.
Missing out on all these questions for her.
Good question. Mhm.
I think if we did one more of these and then we moved it to the final segment.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, and Livy never answered it though.
Oh yeah. Hers vaguely similar to she exists ish, but vaguely similar to Kashaw's, being her moral code is guided by Sora, but then again Sora's whole thing is kind of like stay out of it, I guess. From her understanding, it's kind of just stay out of what's going on, but keep the order of things. As long as the order is in order and not being broken somehow or played with somehow, then everything's good and we'll not be involved, because like death is the end all be all, but it doesn't really have anything to do with anything else in people's lives, I guess. That's kind of her understanding, I think, of her thing. So she'll do whatever Sora wants her to do, but personally she does personally have a lot more care for things than her religion would kind of push her to. So she's very much like, okay, I'll try to help in what way I can for the time being, kind of thing. Her biggest thing would be probably the controlling other people thing. Yeah, she doesn't like that. People controlling others. For their own gain. But yeah. So she's pretty much just like stay out of it kind of person though. Unless she's, I don't know, personally wants to fight back about whatever it is.
Should we move into?
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
questions?
Let me see if there's anything in the chat. Nope, we're good. Okay, yeah. We'll move into the final segment then, where the players will ask me as the DM some questions. If you guys have any of those, be active in the chat. Even if you don't, like it's always encouraging to see what you guys are talking about and all that stuff. So Transition complete. Go for it.
Where does the story end?
Um,
What?
Everyone dies.
What?
TPK. Everyone dies.
It'll be like Rogue
All of
Player
your
One.
characters.
Who is your favorite NPC? Which I asked earlier.
Oh.
Shoot.
I know who mine is.
Um,
I know what mine is.
What?
It's that couple.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Arthur and Endra.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Arthur and Endra are probably mine. They were just
That was cute.
well. Never mind. I probably shouldn't. Okay. Anyway,
They were cute. I loved them.
yes.
Which couple?
Oh, at the open bar.
I don't think we were streaming for that.
We were
So
not. Okay, so for the good people at home,
I don't think Nathan was there for that.
no, he wasn't. That was the time when the
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That was so funny.
That
That
was
he got
time
there before we did.
by
It was
swimming like a
hilarious.
dolphin through that sea.
No. It was just him walking initially.
shouldn't be here.
He just got there before us.
No. And then
Walking
he
wise.
rolled really low on in perception.
Yeah.
Come through. So then he went across the sea as a dolphin and just
Yeah.
followed us and got to where we were eventually.
Which totally would have been possible.
It was funny.
Yeah. Wow. What an interesting thing. Anyway, so for the good the Arthur and Endra were a couple that the party met at a place called the Open Hearth, which was actually probably the most interesting inn that we've seen because it was just literally one main building where there was a hearth in the center. It was just like an open fire pit kind of thing where people would sit and tell stories and that sort of thing. And there were beds kind of along the walls. That's what those are called. Those are beds kind of along the walls. But it was just a lot of sailors came in through one of the ports there. It never stayed for long, so they didn't really need a room per se. And Arthur and Endra kind of opened up their place as a almost like a charity. Like they didn't really charge anything. They took donations, but just kind of let people stay and entertained. It was pretty cool. They're probably my favorite NPCs. What about you guys? Do you guys have a favorite NPCs?
I do. And I totally lost it. No. I can't remember his name now. It was something nerdy, but the little nerd guy that kept us out of the gate, that was just funny. And I enjoyed interacting with him. Or I enjoyed hating him as Vivian.
Start with the sea.
It was like I want to say it was Cameron, but it wasn't Cameron. It was like Bryce. Was it Bryce?
No, start with the C. Cyrus? No.
No. Something dumb. It's just like no.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll look into my notes, but next time we go back to Keystone, she's going to try to be mean to him again.
Yep. Anakis?
I mean, mine are probably Arthur and Endra, but I just loved them so much. But
They were the sweetest old couple.
they really were. They were just so adorable.
It was so suspicious. The entire time I was expecting them to try to like drug one of us or something.
So was I not there for that?
Just
No, you weren't there, so we left you behind, quote unquote. And then you came back next
Oh,
session.
this is when
caught up with
yeah.
us.
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead. I don't know anything.
Nate? Favorite
I had
NPC?
Mephistopheles.
Oh, yeah. You did
Oh, yeah.
like him.
I did like Mephistopheles. I did like
Yeah,
him.
he was.
Mephistopheles
He was
is
pretty
cool,
creepy.
Man.
He is
Yeah.
pretty cool. Creepy as all get out, but cool.
Super
My
cocky.
gosh, Anakis, why you gotta hate your father?
The Shade Seeker also had kind of that vibe, like creepy but pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked the Shade Seeker too.
Uh,
Every time we come up to her and she's singing and stuff, that was cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh no. I was owing and then looking down at my notes so you can go.
And
So,
if you find that guy's name at some point, just shout it out. We'll all know what you're talking about.
why? Can you describe the genre that we're kind of in with the campaign, and also kind of what led to it? Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. So we are in like basically kind of a softcore horror.
Softcore. I'm just on softcore.
Yeah, which is
Softcore.
the reason that I took it there was because one of our players is not entirely simpatico with hardcore horror. So I wanted to go a little bit darker, a little bit scarier, but try to keep it a little light. Basically,
I don't do the creepy stuff very well.
huh?
So I don't do the creepy stuff very well. It's
I
okay.
mean, I wasn't going to mention any names, but yeah, it's
I don't mind.
Anyway, yeah, basically, we had kind of started in a more high fantasy area in the
Well,
what? Yeah, well, no, we left Fell Branch to go into this wood. That's the one that I can't think of. But we ended up in Deep Hollow there, that small town kind of.
Yeah.
I can't remember what wood that's in, but it was a very, very much more high fantasy setting. And you guys, as characters, decided to kind of move on from there, and so I wanted to give you a different flavor, just to kind of feel out what you guys would be into to continue the campaign. And I mean, we've rested here for a little bit, so I don't think that we'll do the rest of the campaign like this. But you know, I want to kind of give you guys for you guys who are watching. Most of these guys had never played D&D before. I think Nate had and Isabel had. The other two had only Liz and Aaron. They'd only played another RPG, but it was, if I'm not mistaken, like a D6 pool type game.
Yeah.
So very different mechanics, and very different. Well, it was just generally a lot different. It was sci-fi, that sort of thing. So they had never played Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm generally trying to give you guys a feel for different genres and feeling out what you guys like the best. That's where we are, and that's why.
Question from me. What has been or is your biggest difficulty with our characters, and then just the campaign in general?
That's an interesting question, because all DMs will come across the same core problem with characters, and that is that they're unpredictable. We don't know what you guys are going to do. That's pretty scary.
They're gonna kill themselves accidentally.
Luckily, you guys have fallen into my trap a couple times, and I've been able to prepare the right battle maps and things like that. But yeah, it's just the unpredictable nature of what players might do is a little difficult.
Like Rack almost getting us killed on the staircase.
Okay.
It was more just like the fear that I won't have something prepared that you guys are gonna end up wanting to do.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a fun challenge, because there have been plenty of times that I have not known what was next, because you guys went a little bit different than what I figured you would. And so I spent a little more time here and didn't even think about that. So it's an interesting challenge being able to try and like think on the fly. And there are times when you'll see me just like kind of behind the DM screen, just like, yeah, he says, my name is Seldak, and then I'll just be kind of like Johnny Seldak. You know, just because a lot of it is you can't plan for everything, no matter how hard you try. So I plan for what I can, and I give like generally what I'm going to need for the area, and then improvise within that. But that's probably the biggest difficulty for you guys as players is just not knowing what's going to happen. But that's literally the nature of the game. So, biggest difficulty for the campaign, I've got two. One is often don't think in terms of networks and politics, things like that. So coming up with things like trade routes or how they would be functional, placing cities strategically on a map where, okay, this goes here because of this natural resource that's there. And then how those things affect politics and how politics affect those things. It's I don't think in those terms, so that's been very difficult for me, just in a sense of world building. But specifically for the campaign, I, as the DM, want you guys to know the story. So there's a part of me that's kind of like, okay, let me just introduce this now. Obviously can't do
Okay,
that.
go ahead.
Yeah. So
You rolled a 15. That's good enough. It's fine.
yeah.
I'll give you all the information.
Yeah, so deciding what to reveal and when to reveal it. Trying to meter that out, measure that out. Trying to measure it out to give you guys like what you need when you need it.
Yeah.
That's been pretty difficult. And also like having a relationship with somebody else in the game, like a player, is very hard because there are all the times where like she's the first person I want to go to about things, but I can't. And so I'm just like, oh, and I had never mind. I didn't have an idea. I really didn't. Okay. Yeah.
Anyone else?
What has been your before? So I'm gonna do before the streaming started. What was your favorite moment of the however many, probably 10 sessions we had before
6.
everything?
Maybe like 6.
No. It would have been like 10.
Yeah?
Probably, or maybe 9.
Maybe 9.
I'm looking through my notes because I don't like these are all notes on where we've been. So I don't remember a lot of things. For 2 reasons. For those of you who are watching, these guys know this about me. I have a really bad memory, first of all, just generally. For most things, I remember the most useless of information, but I will not remember anything relevant to anybody. And also, I have aphantasia, which doesn't allow me to see things in my brain. It's just all black, or sometimes I'll get like some really, really fuzzy shapes and colors, but it's never anything that I can legitimately see. So memories are hard for me, which is why I keep notes. Oh, probably my favorite moment, or at least one of them, was in session 3, which I have titled The Kiss of Death. When you literally realize that the person you were trying to help escape from the dungeon was the succubus who lured you there. Like that was fun. Because
He
it
enjoyed
was
Yep.
coming off your
like,
trip.
He
as
did.
soon as it happened, you guys were all just like, "What? No, what?" We insight checked.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm trying to think if there was anything that I liked better. Those were notes on the dungeon, Open Hearth, Rustport, Keystone City, Shadeseeker. Oh, it was this one. I honestly kind of was really sad about, but at the same time, it was just a very like somber moment, which I think has partially led to the genre we're in. When this happened, I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah. Mhm.
This
Oh, what's
was
that?
a resurrection spell,
Yeah.
and when it
That was so
failed,
sad. Yeah.
there was an entire like
I loved the dream vision thing that we had though. That was
That
really
was
cool.
that was phenomenal.
but it was a very somber moment for all of the players and myself alike.
Yeah.
Very heartfelt, and I enjoyed it looking back. I thought it was a very a good character developing moment and story developing moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was sad.
I think that is. I think those are probably
Yeah.
my yeah.
Same, honestly. Uh,
Do you have
Yeah,
another list?
that's fun.
I was gonna.
I was gonna say the searching the caravan for some reason I thought was pretty fun. The random caravan that we ran into, that was just interesting because it was so like, wait, something gonna jump out at us? I don't
Yeah.
know.
I forgot about
Random
that.
stuff.
The carriage where you found like the books and
Yeah.
whatnot.
We never did ask in
And
the
we
next
found that
like town.
cloth.
Well, you found a blue piece of cloth.
I found the blue piece of cloth
Yes.
Hmm.
with some other country's insignia on it, I think.
Yeah, it was a portion.
Oh yeah, we never looked into this.
There was a portion of Akor's insignia.
Of what?
Akor's insignia.
Oh.
Part of the war that's coming.
Is it the war that we care about though that's gonna end the world, or is it just another Mishmili war?
A Schmeezy war.
Mishmealy.
Yeah. Because I think Nathan's right that the war that we're envisioning is plane war of some sort.
Yeah,
Like the devil plane. I think it's the devil plane.
probably.
The 9 hells. Or one of the 8th hell specifically will try to kill us.
Josh, how would you like to see?
I said, yo.
Continue.
Oh,
Proceed.
how would you like to see us as players and as our characters develop going forward?
Cool.
That's a really interesting question. I like that question. As
Oh,
players,
that question.
as players, I think you guys are honestly really great. I would love to see. What I have seen thus far is you guys come into your own as characters and really kind of start becoming more comfortable with what's going on. Initially, there was some like, "Oh, I don't want to sound silly," you know. But I think you guys have come a long way, and I would love to see some more of that. But honestly, like, I really just love you guys. I think you guys are great. As characters, character development is up to you. I really have no preference. It's my job to officiate fun for you guys. Like that's what I'm here for. I give you the situations, you give me your reactions, and then I kind of tell you what that means. It's just the nature of the game, and I like seeing you guys have fun. So as character development goes, I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. I don't really have a place I'd like to see you get to. I'm along for the ride.
Nice.
Anybody else? Anything
If
else?
Any of our characters died except for yours, who would you want it to be? And how would you want them to die?
See, I hate that question because like. If
Sorry,
I were to
sorry.
say
Sorry, I
anything
don't
and
mean
then
it in a
happened-
yeah. I don't mean it in like soon kind of way, but like by end of campaign. If one of us died for some reason at the end of the campaign and stuff, who do you think it should be, like dramatically wise or like personally wise? Who do you think would it be?
I would love to see. There are a couple of things, but they have to do with backstory. So I'm not sure about it. But one that doesn't really exactly. I would love to see Vivian like in a immense like dramatic sequence right away on the death boat.
Oh yes,
So
same.
Just
Yeah.
kind of like he's finally done with you, done with your work on Anaria, and is like, okay, let's go. You know, that would be
Yes!
such a cool moment to me.
Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes and how things progress.
Mhm.
Yeah, the other ones, they all have to do with backstory that I'm not sure the players want to say.
Yeah.
So basically, anyone but Rack, because I don't know his backstory.
Yes, I was about to say actually. You know, it'd be so sad, guys, if Vila died.
Oh man. Like,
Our whole
where would
party-
the party be without Vila?
What?
Where would the party be without Vila?
Literally a dour little nothing, I think, actually.
Tear ourselves apart.
Yep. So that little tiny bit of glue. Because she's so tiny.
She's above average height for her species. Thank you very much.
Right.
Oh,
Anybody else?
do we have any what's it called? Conspiracy theories about Vila? Anything, anyone? Because I think
She's actually a dwarf.
her parents had an affair. No, okay. Her mother had an affair with a dwarf, and that's so she would track down her biological father, after the fact, and that's why she was living with dwarves for whatever amount of time to actually learn their magic.
And why she's slightly taller than most gnomes.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Interesante. Muy interesante.
I think she's secretly related to whatever war is going on in Northia. Like her family, Northria, will
Ooh.
be related somehow. I don't know.
Maybe she's really the BBEG, you know, like this happy little thing. She's like Ergon all over again.
Honestly.
And, very end, I built up this army. Flint, attack them.
Flint's like a full-born dragon.
Yeah, an entire army of like
Dragon.
mechanical wyverns.
Yep.
Oh,
She's just been tinkering away every day. Just 1, 2,
She
3.
secretly had like an entire network of gnome sweatshops where like, they were working for her.
Yep.
I need to send
We
you.
serve the dragon maker.
I don't know if you guys ever listen to like Crit Crab or what's another one. They're guys that basically they read Reddit posts. They voice a lot of Reddit posts, and those guys specifically do like D&D stories and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And this one guy like animates some of them too. But there's one I'm gonna send you guys, and it's pretty good, and it's along those lines.
All right.
Come on.
That's it.
Are you talking about the one with the lizard guy?
Oh, did I already show you?
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. Yes, the one with the lizard.
No, that was honestly really cool.
Mhm.
Disturbing. I think I might have already told Isabel about it.
I don't think you did.
Watch it and then tell me.
Okay.
Any other
But-
questions for the DM? Anything goes.
Nope.
All right.
Who's your least favorite NPC? That's my question.
Actually, probably Seldak.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like Seldak.
Why?
He just,
Interesting.
I just don't like him. I don't really know why. It's just,
Anakius really likes him, so
yeah, he is.
Mhm.
And I mean, he'll probably come up again. He hired you to do some work, which you guys actually never.
we're working on it. Okay, we have other issues.
we're caught by a child.
You were new adventurers. You didn't know. What you paid for work?
I I should probably send him a sending message at some point. Be like, yeah, we're still working on it.
Sort of.
Kind of. Or you guys could use your sending. No, wait, that doesn't work.
No.
Yeah, no, it only works with the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Seldak has to be my least favorite NPC.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Interesting. I think we're good.
All
Yep.
right,
Yep.
awesome.
Right at 2 hours too.
Anything else in the chat, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Hey, well, thank you anyway to those people who did get engaged there in the chat. A couple of you guys. No, I don't have anything else to say. So, so we're peacing out.
Stick around for our session that we're gonna post.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. I guess I did have something else to say. It was recorded last session, so it was still off of my phone. So it's gonna be a little, we just couldn't bear
What?
to stop where we were.
But it was super fun, guys.
It was really cool.
It
Oh,
ended
yeah.
with this crazy moment.
Yes.
We now have
Very
now
surprised.
there's 2 weeks to resolve it. It's fine.
Yep.
but-
I'm glad I have such a poor memory because I don't have any cliffhanger because I don't even remember what happened.
As a side note, guys, I have no magic by the end of this session. Neither does I think Aniki.
No,
You barely
I
have
have
any either.
I have
You
most
do?
left. Yeah.
Okay.
Wizards.
Oh,
are
you're saying
crazy.
spells.
Well, because wizards can regain this after a short rest. So
Right.
Yeah.
Wizards are
arcane
crazy.
recovery, yo.
Woo!
But yeah.
Druids can too, actually.
Anybody else have anything to add?
Just keep watching. We'll post
Merch
on Instagram
coming out soon.
what we're playing next, and we'll be playing a couple weeks again. So
All right. Well,
on social media.
And now, since we all have
Yes.
time, I'm gonna try to do some art for all characters. So
Yeah.
that'll be my goal for the next few weeks.
all right. Well, then.
thanks for
Roll
joining.
Signing off. Thanks for watching.
Denko.
Bye.
Adios.